Welcome, bright viewers, to this week's edition of Healthy Living, featuring Dr. Judith Orloff, who will discuss intuition, constructive energy, and spirituality, and how they can be used to achieve physical and emotional healing. Dr. Orloff is a board-certified psychiatrist who has been recognized by U.S. publication Body and Soul magazine as one of our nation's top doctors. As the newspaper USA Today states, Dr. Orloff voices the message that intuition works as a potent therapeutic force that can help us lead smarter, saner lives. Dr. Orloff is a member of Natural Health Magazine's advisory board, an assistant clinical professor of psychiatry at the University of California, Los Angeles, USA, and a lecturer. She is also author of the international bestseller Emotional Freedom, which has been made into a public television special in the United States and DVD entitled Judith Orloff, MD, Emotional Freedom Now. Her other bestsellers include Positive Energy, Dr. Judith Orloff's Guide to Intuitive Healing, and Second Sight. Let's now find out how intuition came into Dr. Orloff's life.
The way I got into it was that when I was a little girl, I was raised by two physician parents, and I have 25 physicians in my family. But I was a little girl who had these very strong premonitions about things. I would predict deaths or illnesses or earthquakes, something like that. It scared my parents so much so that they forbade me to ever mention my intuitions at home. And so my healing path and my development has been how to integrate intuition in my life as a woman and also in my psychiatric practice so that I can use it in my daily life and also teach my patients and readers how to use it too. When I treat patients and in my books, I talk about how to integrate intuition into health and healing.
Emotional Freedom, published in March 2009, encourages readers to overcome negative emotions by reacting to them constructively. Here's Dr. Orloff with more on her book.
Well, emotional freedom is about how to become non-reactive to emotions so you're not just reacting when your buttons get pushed. It's about using emotions as a path to spiritual awakening, to be able to tune into your intuition and find out the deeper meaning of whatever emotion you go through. It can be anger, it can be frustration, it could be any emotion, but there's a spiritual meaning to every emotion that you go through, and you can use intuition to tune in to find out what that is. Fear is a huge emotion that saps people of their power. Part of emotional freedom is to just make a commitment to the best of your ability not to lead a fear-driven life. And so I have my patients list their top 5 fears, whatever they are, so they're very clear about it, and then really outline ways you could find courage to transform those fears. And one area where that comes up is in relationships. And I speak about, in emotional freedom, the emotional vampires who can drain your energy. And I bring this up because this is a spiritual challenge too. And it's an intuitive challenge to be able to pinpoint the people in your life who are draining or who are positive. And with the draining ones, to take steps to set limits and boundaries with them and work with yourself. What spiritual work, what intuitive work do you have to do on yourself when you're around these people? And I go through different types of emotional vampires. One being the narcissist. The narcissist is the me person, and they're only really happy about you if you go along with their plan.
What life lessons can we learn if we go through a depression? Dr. Orloff provides her thoughts.
Well, a beautiful example of what you can gain from depression is deep empathy for others and compassion for yourself. Because when you go through something as strenuous as depression, people tend to beat themselves up a lot. You see, but part of the lesson of depression is learning self-compassion. And when you can be compassionate and loving with yourself, and moment by moment, try and listen intuitively to what's good for you in the depression and what can be most loving and kind to yourself. And being around loving and kind people as you're going through your healing process, that in itself is a tremendous lesson. And depression is also a good way to beat down the ego. And it's very painful, but depression can teach you humility. And it can teach you how to be humble and not arrogant and not think you could do it all or know everything. To know, as a psychiatrist, it's a very essential process to really gain that humility in your life. So you can gain that from depression, gain humility, deep compassion for yourself and others.
After this brief message, we'll learn more about Dr. Orloff and her work as a psychiatrist. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.